Assalamu alaikum everyone. We are back with Breaking Barriers with Lare Fatma Hassan, and as you guys know that I invite young change makers of the society, people who are actually making a difference in their respective fields, how they are doing it, what are their activities these days. Let's find out, because right now in the studio we have with us Mr. Ghazi Ali Hassan. He is the Business Development Executive at Elaan Marketing, and I'm sure by now all of you must be familiar with Elaan, because Elaan people have been quite frequent at my program, and I'm so proud to know this company and the people associated. So thank you so much, Mr. Ghazi, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me over, and it's been a pleasure to be here.
I'm very glad to have you. Sub sir, you are the Business Development Executive. So can you tell us something about your role and what are you doing in Elaan these days?
Okay, basically, I started this journey back in 2018.
Okay.
And it's been 5 years now, and it's a beautiful journey. I started my journey from sales department.
Okay.
And then after working 2 years in sales, I switched to the business development department.
Okay.
And I must say that business development department is a full of initiatives.
All right.
It's full of fun, and I have many activities, indoor, outdoor, and it's a good work, and it's a teamwork. And I directly report to my CEO.
All right.
Yeah.
This is what I like about people from Elaan, that in whatever field they are working, they are very happy with their jobs.
Exactly.
And that is very difficult to see in the corporate sector, because when I meet friends from corporate, they are so depressed in their jobs.
So it all depends on the work ethics and organizational behavior.
Absolutely.
So I would like to add one thing, that at Elaan Marketing, it's not a temporary office, or it's a work. It's basically a family system.
Okay.
So we all treat each other like family members, and it's a very good thing to be part of Elaan and in the business development department.
I'm very glad, and I think this is one of an organization that now I'm starting to recommend other people to join as well.
Yeah.
Because I've met the CEO, I've met other people working in multiple departments, and what I love about your company is that you guys are taking such unique initiatives when you are working. So you mentioned that you've been in this business for 5 years.
Yeah.
So because my show is Breaking the Barriers, I ask people the barriers they have faced and overcome. Can you share some of the barriers that you faced?
Okay, once when I graduated from LUMS back in 2016.
You're a LUMS graduate.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I entered in the a professional field after being completed the studies.
All right.
So everyone who graduates and enter the professional field, there are obviously many barriers.
What did you graduate in? What were your subjects?
Okay, I have done BSc honors in accounting and finance.
All right.
But right now it's my work profession, it doesn't include accounting and finance at all. So since my interest was in the sales and marketing and the business development, so there are definitely many barriers once you enter the professional field. But from 2016 to 2018, when I was not the part of Elaan, I faced many barriers, but once I joined Elaan, it's very smooth journey now. It's been 5 years, and I still recall it's like a yesterday event that I joined Elaan Marketing. Yeah,
I think that's amazing. So I think one more interesting thing is that you shifted your career from sales to from business development. So how was this shift? Because I see a lot of students who want to make a shift, but they're too afraid to do that. So what do you have to say about that?
I think it's you realize something, it's better if it's late or it's so I decided that sales is not it's not my thing.
Your cup of tea.
Yeah. So I switched I requested my director that I want to shift to the business development department, and they said, okay, you can work 4 to 5 months, and then we will see if you are progressing, then we can definitely make you. So it's been now 3 years that I've been part of the business development team, and it's a beautiful journey, and we have done a lot in the business development department.
Okay, so when it comes to business development, because since COVID-19 we saw lots of small businesses flourishing, entrepreneurship took a huge toll in Pakistan. I saw many people starting their businesses. So when it comes to business development, what are the basics of this? For example, if I'm starting my own company, what advice would you give me for my business development?
Okay, for this question, I would like to address one thing, that what is basically business development?
Yeah, please.
So the answer lies within the question.
Okay.
It's the development of business. So anything you do to add, things in the business, it's called business development. And the main focus is to, generate viable income streams for the business.
Okay.
So for instance, we belong to a real estate company. We are a premium real estate company, and we have a construction company as well. So in the business development department, we do strategic partnerships.
Okay.
We hire good people.
Okay.
We do multiple things. We do brand activation and things we do to develop our business. So these are the multiple factors that includes in the business development.
All right, and because since now it's technological kind of an era, and we see that people have shifted from paper to the digital market, and even if a person is not going out of their house, they have a smartphone in their hand, they are online on social media. So how important do you think is digital media when it comes to business development?
For instance, real estate, in Pakistan specifically, real estate has been in the dark ages for many years.
All right.
You can see there's been a time when only males have worked in the real estate, but you can see a influx of females as well. They are working for the real estate in the field of real estate. So what we did is back in 2019 and in pre-COVID, we have moved to an entire paperless network.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
So what we do is we generate digital receipts.
Okay.
And then we, for the allotment letters and for everything, we use the digital channels.
Okay.
And as far as the employees are concerned, we mark their attendance on the biometric devices, on the biometric machines.
Okay. So Elaan is also saving paper.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We are, we believe that climate change is real.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually a threat to the society and into the, not the society.
So sustainable practices, basically.
So we have shifted entirely to the paperless net, and we have digitized everything.
Amazing.
We have our mobile apps as well. So employees can check in from the mobile apps and see their progress and
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So I think this is amazing that Elaan, this is what I like about Elaan actually, that they progress with the changing trends of the society. And going paperless, I know it's really hard living in Pakistan because everyone is so used to tearing pages and doing their work. Myself involved, I will have to work on that as well since I've met you today. So I think that's wonderful, this initiative that you've taken. And when it comes to business development in real estate, because as a layman, if I talk about myself, I don't know much about real estate. And when I think about real estate, it seems kind of like a dry subject, kind of a boring subject. And business development has to be very creative, very catchy. So how do you manage these two departments together?
Basically, as I mentioned earlier, that real estate is used to be in a very dark eras, and but it's been more than 3 years that we have digitalized everything, and as far as the business development is concerned. So what we do is we identify our new customers.
All right.
And business development in the field of businesses, it comes under two domains. One comes under the domain of startups, the new businesses, and one comes under the domain of established businesses.
Yes, absolutely.
So we fall under the category of established business. So I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
What we do is we identify new customers, new clients for our projects, and then we partnership with the companies, with the corporate companies. For instance, we are going to build a humongous mall in the Gulberg Greens. It's called the Magnus Mall, and it's under construction. What we did is that we partnered with many international and local brands.
All right.
So once our mall is completed, we have signed the MOU. They will come and open a chain of their brand in our,
amazing, wonderful. So this is actually pre-planning. That when you're launching your project, you already have that development strategy in mind. So when it comes to Pakistan, when it comes to the trends in Pakistan related to this subject, what do you think are the current barriers that we have to overcome?
As far as the construction and the real estate field is concerned, the main problem that we are facing right now are the regularizations from the district administration and the Capital Development Authority, CDA.
All right.
So there are 2-3 steps that we have to follow in order to complete a project or complete a house. So once we start building a project, we have to take an NOC from the Capital Development Authority. We get an initial approval, then we start constructing the project, and after completing the project, we get the completion certificate from CDA. So what CDA does is it's a very same old lengthy process.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
Because you guys have progressed and they have not.
They haven't.
Yeah.
So what we are looking for is that CDA must, intervene, and CDA, higher authorities of CDA and higher authorities of government should, they should transform the CDA.
Yeah.
They should, streamline the entire process. So developers like us, we get our NOCs and completion certificates and yeah.
So there are lots of barriers that you are still overcoming.
Yeah.
I remember I had to organize a small debate competition for an organization, and I had to get an NOC because I was using a government building.
Yeah.
And I remember because I was the only female working over here in that particular competition, and for a whole entire week I had to go to the DC office. I had to just sit and wait for his signature. It was just the game of one signature, nothing else, but I had to wait for a week to get that signature. And till that week passed, my morale was so down that I did not want to organize that competition anymore.
So that's true. But I would say that district administration, like DC office or AC offices, as far as these offices are involved, they have transformed a lot.
Amazing.
Right now, we have the best administration in Islamabad.
Okay.
Specifically, some new assistant commissioners. They are from the top positions of CSS.
All right.
And they are doing very well. But the whole issue is with the CDA. Yeah. So CDA it's very slow. It's I believe that CDA should, all the paperwork and all the this whole procedure should be hassle free, and it should,
be digitized.
It should be digitized.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all should apply online for the
NOCs and everything.
And
Absolutely. So do you think that private organizations such as Elaan, can they actually do something about this? Have you guys tried to mitigate some policy that can work for the betterment of these things?
We have, since we have digitalized everything in our offices, so we have the best IT experts, we have the best development team. So we can do is that we can make a lot much easier process for these people. But since they have so many employees and they are stuck in the old system, they don't want to they don't want to move from the status quo. They want
They're happy with their system.
They have.
And I think this is what I was talking about previously as well, that this partnership that we need between public and private institutions. Because when we talk about Elaan, you guys are progressing in every field, mashallah. You have experienced people, you have young change makers, and they are doing wonderful in their fields. And when we come to the state owned organizations, we see that the same person who was working 50 years back, he's still on his team. It's not like I'm disagreeing with them, but you should involve organizations like Elaan in your process just to ramp up things a little bit.
Exactly. I would 100% agree with that, because they are very backward, and all we do is that we wait 4 hours, 5 hours in CD offices, and yet they are busy eating things.
So let's hope that Elaan is able to overcome these barriers. It's difficult, but I think it's a slow and gradual process. Change is a very time-taking process, and I'm sure it will come. So what are some of the new initiatives that you guys are taking these days?
Okay, apart from digitalizing everything and hiring good people and then transforming our work structure and work behavior, organizational behavior. What recently we did is we are just entering in the field of hospitality.
Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, what we are doing is that we are looking forward for, we see that there's a huge potential for hospitality in Pakistan.
Okay.
Back in 2019, World Bank and the World Tourism Organization, WTO, they signed an MOU.
Okay.
And they signed the MOU, the context was that to promote the hospitality and tourism in Pakistan.
Okay.
And there's a survey and there's a report from World Tourism Organization, which is led by UN. And they said that Pakistan is hospitality industry in Pakistan is around $25 billion by the end of 2025.
All right.
So what I just, there was a recent survey from the Pakistan Statistics Department. They said that from the fiscal year of 2019 to 2020, they collected a revenue of around $4 billion.
All right. So is it enough or should it be like more?
No, I think it's more than enough.
All right.
But it's gradually increasing. Back in 2018 to 2019, it was just $1.1 billion.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's increasing day by day. So there's a huge potential. There's a huge gap in the hospitality department. So what we are doing is that we are launching hopefully, inshallah, very soon, we are launching a 4-star or 5-star hotel facility.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, starting from Islamabad till northern areas.
Amazing,
yeah.
wonderful.
And we have started some of the projects in Islamabad as well. They are working quite successfully.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we have, there's a project in Kuza Gali, it's near Nathia Gali.
Okay.
It's one of the amazing projects. It's called Swiss Suites.
Okay.
It's already constructed, but it's in the final phases. So it's also a hotel, and it has more than 100 rooms.
Amazing!
And,
wow.
So it will be completed in a year. So it's that is also part of our hospital.
I think that's amazing because I follow a lot of vloggers who are coming to Pakistan, and I see that when they're visiting northern areas, this is one tiny complaint that they usually have, is that there are not enough hotels over there. There is not enough accommodation. There are accommodations and they're wonderful, but they're not enough for everyone. Because when peak tourist season arrives in Pakistan, the rooms are already booked, and then when rooms are already booked, there is that certain peak factor, and then tourists are hesitant to come and do that.
Yeah, you can see that there are only 3 to 4 hotel chains that operate in Pakistan.
Yeah.
And they have one hotel in Islamabad, one in Lahore, one in Faisalabad, and then one in, Nathia Gali.
Yes.
There's much potential. And if I talk about Kashmir, it's a very beautiful.
It's heaven on earth.
It's a heaven on earth.
Yeah.
There are no, like, once you cross Muzaffarabad, there are no hotels.
All right.
They are like below 1-star hotels. There is no. So we are actively, Elaan marketing is actively, we are conducting surveys. We are doing things to, better understand that how much potential is there for the potential of hotels in Pakistan.
So is it like, because when I talk about Islamabad, I know it might be easier to construct over here because of the environment and everything. So is it easy to construct these kind of, extravagant hotels in those hilly areas? It's
very difficult. But since it's been, we are in the industry for the past 30 years or 20 years, and we have built more than 45 projects in Islamabad.
Okay.
One of our milestone project is, it's being built in Nathia Gali.
All right.
So we have already,
you've passed that barrier.
Yeah.
Okay, so, amazing.
But as your question is concerned, it's obviously constructing a house in Islamabad is easier as compared to constructing a house in Nathia Gali. Kashmir is too much, it's far from Islamabad.
It's far, plus, the amount of resources, the labor that you guys have in Islamabad, I'm sure it must be like a stark difference between the people that you are hiring.
Exactly. Also the construction material.
Yeah.
So if we get, a bag of cement here for 1,500, there it's for 2,500. So construction cost is also, it's much there.
So Ghazi, all the wonderful things that you are doing, and I know that Elaan has, it has this policy of hiring young people. I've met a lot of your employees. So can you tell some of our viewers that if someone wants to join this business development department, for instance, what particular skills do you guys look for?
There is no relevant, education or specific qualification or degree required for the business. And I'm sure that no degrees are available in Pakistan for a bachelor's in business development. Yeah. So it's you just have the knowledge, and you just need to have the passion for this. It involves, working indoor and outdoor as well. So there comes a time when I'm sitting in the office doing work or 9 to 5, but then there comes time when I go to the places and, outdoor activities twice a day, thrice a day, or 2 days a week continuously. So I think anyone who wants to join the business development department or in this field, he or she must have, a basic knowledge or passion, at least a little bit passion, and he or she will be good to go.
And since you're already involved in this business, do you see a lot of people, coming to this department? Are they interested? Like, do you receive CVs for these kind of jobs?
Yeah, people. So we have just we started the internship program last year, and then we are going to start in this May next month as well. So we had the slots of 2 people in each department.
All right.
In IT, sales, marketing, accounts and finance, and then business development. So most CVs that I received was in the marketing.
Okay.
And then in the business development.
Amazing.
So against 2 slots, I received more than 100 resumes.
Okay, wonderful.
Just for the internship. So people are very interested, and there's a age for everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think people are changing, the environment is changing, everything is changing. You must have heard of ChatGPT.
Yes,
it's a new
absolutely.
thing. It's a new thing in town, and people are literally, many companies have laid off many employees because of it.
Yes, unfortunately.
Because all the content writing and all the AI designs and everything, people are using ChatGPT.
This was actually my next question to you, because this is an ongoing debate everywhere, that since artificial intelligence is taking over our profession, so do you think that your profession might be in danger?
As far as my passion is concerned or my department is concerned, there is a slight chance, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because what my work is to give my seniors, my directors, or my company CEO the good different ideas, so we expand our business.
Yeah.
So we to generate viable income streams.
Yeah.
So what if I have never asked the question to ChatGPT.
You haven't?
No, I
you
haven't.
Should.
I still haven't, but obviously I would. Obviously I would. But I think there's a slight chance of this. But mainly the people that are being, they are forced to resign are those people who are working in the design department or in the content.
In the content department, absolutely.
Because it's now I heard that there's another AI model, ChatGPT 4.
Yeah.
It's more stronger, and it can generate like 20,000 words in less than 10 seconds.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think this is pretty dangerous for.
So do you think, because like you mentioned that Elaan has already digitized its department, so do you think that this is a good step? That it is a good step, but do you think that you guys will be able to fight this off, because everything is being digitalized, AI is taking over, but I think Elaan is a step ahead when I compare it to other companies. You guys are a step ahead. So how has that journey been for you guys?
What I'll tell you is that during the COVID time, many of my friends or batchmates are working in the high startups, world-leading startups like Cream, Uber, Foodpanda. So they were working in Dubai or Qatar, in the Middle East, and in Pakistan. They have laid many of their employees in COVID.
Unfortunately,
yeah. 500, 600 in each session. In 1 month they have laid 5. Surprisingly, and it's a good thing about Elaan marketing. That, and I am just being honest, and you would be like that everything about this company is very good and it's too good to be true. But what I'll say that our company never ever, not in the COVID, but since I have joined, they have never fired a person. Else, if he or she wants to leave, she can go, obviously, he or she. But our company never fired.
So you haven't done any layoffs?
Have no layoffs. Amazing. Even during the COVID. So I think since AI has taken over, and there's a ChatGPT, and it's very simple. You just pay some few thousand rupees and you have access to everything. But still, even though this or ChatGPT 4 or so many other models, if they come, I think my company will not gonna, our employees will not get affected from this.
I think that is wonderful, and I think one of the reasons is because you guys are a step ahead when it comes to technology. You are already embracing it, you are already using it in your projects, and that's very important. And again, when it comes to ChatGPT, I would just like to tell you that you don't even have to pay it right now.
Okay.
If you use the free subscription, anything you ask him, just last night I was just messing around with it and I just wrote my own name and I said, please tell me about Larry Fatma Hassan. And he actually got my profile from LinkedIn.
Okay.
And he told me about myself. And I was so shocked because that I felt it's an invasion of my privacy.
Exactly.
Because you never know what information or data they already have about you.
This is what AI is doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what AI. So we have already discussed this ChatGPT with the higher management.
Okay, please tell me about that discussion.
So we are already working on a model.
Okay.
Where we can, incorporate ChatGPT and different AI models in our company.
Wonderful.
So since our company involves architects, our company involves graphic designers, content writers. So what we will do is, we'll keep doing our work from the employees, and then we will use ChatGPT as well.
Okay.
For instance, we are about to launch a new project, for instance, in the next 2 months. We'll ask our interior designer or the architect to, develop a 3D design for us.
Yeah.
And then same we'll do
with the
ask the
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. So we will compare and we'll decide.
And
what
you can take the best ideas from ChatGPT, the best ideas from your people.
Exactly. Since also one thing I would like to add, that ChatGPT is limited till 2021.
Yes.
They don't have it doesn't have access to 2022.
The recent information. Yeah.
So architects, they are human beings. They can Google anything anytime,
and one thing more is that however AI advanced, it can be, it is not creative. When we talk about architectures, like it's such a creative field, it's a field where people have to generate their own ideas.
Exactly. I think AI can never like replace human brain.
100%, yeah.
It's a natural thing. It's all about nature, I think. AI it's computerized, and since you search your profile, it gave you the answer in like less than 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Like it works like that.
Yeah. But I think this is what I think is that yes, it has lots of positives, but there's always certain loopholes that every technology has, and those loopholes are then covered by human beings and their human brains. So a wonderful discussion that we're having with Mr. Ghazi Ali Hassan. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back to talk about more Elaan's initiatives, how they are using digital technology for their business development. So stay tuned with us. We will be right back. We are back with Breaking Barriers with Lare Fatma Hassan, and we have with us today Mr. Ghazi Ali Hassan from Elaan Marketing, and we were just talking about that how Elaan promotes youth inclusion in their company and how they want young people to join. So can you please tell our viewers something about the HR and the hiring process? That first of all, what is your potential market when it comes to Elaan? What kind of students or skills are you looking for? And secondly, how easy it is to join Elaan?
Okay, it's a very good question, since we are actively seeking for young graduates and interns as well. So summer is approaching, and we have an extensive summer internship program.
Wonderful.
We have much more. I think we have 7 to 8 different departments.
Okay.
Where we hire interns, and then it's a summer internship program, which leads towards the job.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah. So. As far as the age gap and the potential candidates are concerned, every year at many of universities we organize, you can say, a recruitment drive.
Okay.
We go to the universities and then we put our Elaan marketing stall, and then we students from those universities come and drop their resumes, and we conduct a little bit of interview at that time. Yeah, exactly. And then we shortlist, and then we hire them. And initially. Right now, we have conducted recruitment drives in Lums, Lahore, and then we have in Nust, Fast, and now we are thinking to expand our this research towards Bahria University or Air University as well.
And I think this is wonderful, because what I feel is that the youth in Pakistan is so talented, mashallah. They have so many skills and they want to utilize their skills, but they don't have a good place to go. And as I mentioned, that my friends in corporate sector, they're so tired of their jobs, and they just keep on recommending other people to go for startups or things like that. No one is considering companies like Elaan because they don't know about them. So that is wonderful that you're doing that. And because I've met your CEO, I've met other people from your company. So do you think that when new people, especially when fresh graduates join Elaan, is it difficult for you guys to manage that age gap, that experience gap? How do you go about that?
Since you have met our CEO, so he's also a young entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what age difference? I would say that the youngest employee we have is like I would say he must be like 20 years, and the max age is 34 or 33.
Okay.
So we have as I told at the initial start of the interview, that we at Elaan Marketing are like a family. Yeah. So if someone younger than us joins, then we believe that.
Do you guys also provide trainings to new recruits?
Yeah, definitely. We have a summer internship program, and before that, whenever a employee joins our company, we before joining we train them for 3 weeks, and then they can formally start.
Okay, so what if a person is coming with like zero experience and not a relevant degree? For example, I know lots of people who have degrees in engineering and life sciences, but they want to switch their fields. So do you guys welcome those kind of students?
Yeah, we do, because students come from different backgrounds, and then there are 2 types of hirings. One is lateral hiring. We can hire these people from in the month of December, January, February. And then there's a management trainee program, which is after in Pakistan, most students, all the universities, the students graduate in May, June, in this time period. So the MTO program, we start this program in June, May or June, and then we hire the people from different universities.
Okay, so we've talked about your professional journey and how you've reached over here. So was there a time in your life, a certain barrier that you were facing, and that barrier completely like broke you down, or you thought to yourself that, oh my God, can't overcome this one? Or any point in your life where you just wanted to give up on a certain goal, but then you overcame that? Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, it happened once when I was working in Elaan marketing, and I was assigned this specific task.
Okay.
I was given a deadline of 2 weeks.
Okay.
But the deadline passed, and I tried my best, but I couldn't. Then I had to give the report to my CEO, and I went straight to him, and I was expecting that I would,
get a scolding.
Get scolding, or get a something, written letter or something, a notice or anything. But I went to the CEO and I explained him that this specific task is not done because I'm stuck here. And then he was very friendly, and he said,
okay,
it's all right. And then basically my CEO came up with the idea that you should do this work this way.
Okay.
And it took me like 3 to 4 weeks, and I got over this.
I think this is very wonderful that you have a mentor to guide and support you, even though you are in an executive position in Elaan, which is like a high position.
Yeah.
But still, if you are facing some creative challenges, you have someone to look up to. So can you tell us that who has been your mentor in Elaan? Obviously, your CEO, but outside of Elaan, who is someone that you look up to?
In Elaan, it's obviously my CEO, but outside Elaan, I would say that my mentor throughout my life has been my father.
Wonderful.
And I learned a lot from him. And unfortunately, a few weeks ago, I lost my father.
I'm so sorry.
But as far as the mentor is concerned, by my father, he's been a very, very nice person, and I learned a lot from him. But as I joined Elaan marketing, my CEO, he's been very supportive.
Okay.
Even if someone is not executive as a beginner, my CEO offices doors are always open.
Okay.
From beginner to expert to professional, anyone can go and meet him and ask the different questions. So the same the barrier that we were talking about, it was basically, I would like explain it more.
Please.
I was given a task to hire some people in our company in specific departments, and then I couldn't, because of COVID and many other factors. Then my CEO came up with this idea. He said, why don't you just go to the universities like LUMS, FAST, or NUST, and other universities, and hire people directly from the universities. And it was a really good idea. So I contacted the university administration, and then I requested them that I want to hire people, and they were very supportive as well, because from their point of view, they were like, okay, we are waiting to welcome you, because their students are getting hired directly from the university. They don't have to apply on LinkedIn. They don't have to apply for a job poster or anything, right? The company is coming. So after this whole thing, the university started contacting us.
Amazing.
So every year, their admissions department and their alumni department, they contact us and they ask us that when are you going to hire people.
Okay,
and when
wonderful. Amazing.
So,
and I think this is a very creative idea, because what happens is, if I even talk about myself, when I graduated from university, even before getting my degree and everything, I was so worried that what am I going to do with myself now? Where am I going to go? And right now, if I talk about the job market in Pakistan, it is in shambles, unfortunately. The unemployment rate is going so high. People have lost their jobs, and especially this economic recession that we're facing. So when it comes to companies like Elaan and other companies who should, I think, follow the same path, when you are offering a job to a student who has just graduated, first of all, they are very fresh. They're very creative. They're in that particular phase of their life where they're very motivated that, yes, we want a job, we want to make a change. So I think to target that specific group of people, that's very creative.
That's very creative, and they're very passionate about getting in a professional field. Since once you are in your higher school studies, then you are entering the university, and after graduating of 4 years or 5 years, all like the graduates are looking for a job. So
one more thing, Ghazi, that I wanted to talk about is that I always emphasize that our universities and our education system, they are not really focusing on skill-based learning. Because if a graduate wants to look for a job, and as you've already talked about these technical advancements that we are facing, so until and unless these students don't know how to tackle these modern changes and trends, so do you think that these fresh graduates that you guys hire, do they have the appropriate skills, or do you think the universities need to work more on them?
yeah, I think the HEC should, because the HEC is the autonomous body who regulates the universities. I think HEC should intervene and, introduce new subjects to the, because right now, as you mentioned, the inflation and the current economical crisis in Pakistan, the graduates that join us, they don't have the knowledge of real estate or any relevant particular field. So we have to train them. We train them for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and sometimes it takes us like 4 weeks to train them in the different departments. And then we start, we start them, letting them work so they can, work professionally.
And as you mentioned before, that in our universities, not all universities have these kind of subjects: hospitality management, real estate management, financial management, business development. These are the fields that are trending right, not only in Pakistan but globally as well. And what we have limited our students to is to go for subjects like natural sciences. And unfortunately, some students excel in those subjects, but majority of them, they don't follow their true calling or their true potentials.
This is true. I think universities should, introduce skill-based
and career counseling as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think 90% of the universities don't have the career counselor in their offices.
They don't.
So once a student graduates, he just go with the paper of degree. They go to home and they just sit around and they start applying LinkedIn, even if it's the relevant job for them or not. They just apply, and it's eventually it's very difficult for the hiring authority, for the companies, since if we have a one job poster, we have one slot, and we advertise it for one job poster, we get thousands of resumes.
Imagine.
And then I would like to add one thing, that once we have a this position for business development executive, and then we just posted it on LinkedIn, and a doctor applied for that.
Oh my God! Why?
A doctor, literally, doctor applied for that post, and when we tried to contact him, and he said that there are no jobs for us, so we are just looking that if there is something.
How unfortunate is that? That is actually quite sad.
Yeah.
Imagine studying so many years to be a doctor. And I would like to add, I know a friend of mine, and he chose to study physics for four years. He did a BS physics degree. Why? Because he had good marks in intermediate. That was the only reason he studied physics for 4 whole years without knowing what kind of potential physics has in Pakistan, without knowing what will his career options be. Because I think this is a very huge gap that we are facing. Exactly. Our students don't know the trending careers in Pakistan or globally as well. Just 2 weeks back, I was talking to my younger brother, and I was actually telling him about Elaan, that these are the professions you should go for. And he had this one thing that, no, I want to go outside of Pakistan and I want to study business. And I just told him to study IT.
Yeah.
If you want to go, even in Pakistan, outside of Pakistan, at least search that where are the jobs, because at the end of the day, you need to work.
Exactly. So we have a very great team of IT experts in our company. And I would totally agree with you that right now it's the era of IT, technology, digitalize everything, AI. So anyone who's like pursuing career or who's like in the joining stages of their studies or university, I would recommend that they should, they should go for the IT department. They should go for the IT studies or AI studies, because this is AI is the future. And
it's taking over, and we cannot stop it. And how else are you going to beat it if you don't know what it is?
Yeah, somewhat it has taken over.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we discussed earlier, the content department, content writing, and many other things, it has taken over.
So Ghazi, tell me, you are, mashallah, already at an executive position at Elaan Marketing. You've worked for 5 years. Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What are your future aspirations?
I think the development is not, it's not that I should individually I should succeed, and once an individual only succeeds if the company is going forward.
Absolutely.
So my aspirations and my belief is that I should take my company, Elaan Marketing, to the higher stages, to the skies, so that I I develop and I grow. So my intention is that I should further add more things so that my company grows. And then eventually,
I think that is one of the traits of good workers and good employees, that they are loyal to their companies.
Yeah, it's basically I would say that this all depends on the company.
Absolutely.
And all the people and the higher management and our CEO, they are very good to the employees. So we don't have anything but just to offer honesty, loyalty, and these type of
So
things.
it was wonderful talking to you, Ghazi, and I'm sure that our listeners might have, got to know some new career paths that are being opened, especially in Elaan. And it's a growing company. You guys are developing yourselves with the market trends, and I think it's wonderful what you guys are doing. And I always say this in all of my programs. I always encourage people to go and take a look, to apply at different positions, because I think at one point in your life, you really want to settle down in a comfortable job. In a comfortable kind of an environment. And there are very few companies in Pakistan, unfortunately, that are offering that to their employees. And one of the very best things that you mentioned about Elaan is that you don't do layoffs.
Yeah, we don't.
So you have a job security where you're working, and that is very important. So last message for our listeners.
I think for the listeners and for the youth, I would like to say that just be persistent and stick to one thing. Don't panic, and everything has a right time. You don't have to panic if something is not coming to you. It will eventually come to you, but you have to stick to it, and you have to give it proper time, and inshallah Allah will definitely reward you.
And change is a very slow and gradual process. You will face a lot of barriers, as he has also faced, but he took over them, he went past them, and now, mashallah, he's at this position where he is encouraging other people to break the barriers. So it was wonderful talking to you, Ghazi. And in my program, in the last 5-10 minutes, what I do is I recommend a book to my viewers and to my listeners. So this week's book is The Fix by Umar Shahid Hamid. And I really, really encourage all of you to read South Asian authors, to read Pakistani authors, because they are so wonderful and they capture the essence of the Pakistani society as a whole. So Umar Shahid Hamid has worked in Pakistan Police, Sindh Police to be exact. And The Fix is all about what happens in cricket matches, how they are fixed, what goes on behind closed curtains. You should also read it. It's a very interesting read. So that is Book of the Week. And stay tuned. As you all know, that every Tuesday we come here on Breaking the Barriers with people like Mr. Ghazi, who are making changes, who are working towards a certain goal. And as he mentioned, that Elaan has already eliminated paper. They are on a digital journey. And I think that is very important, because Pakistan is already facing the brunt of climate change.
True.
And if companies like Elaan are there working towards this betterment, then what else do we need? Exactly. So this is your cue to work towards betterment, just like Elaan is doing, and break your barriers. So this is Larif Fatma Hassan signing off from Radio Pakistan's only English language channel, Planet FM 87.6, with Breaking the Barriers with Larif. Don't forget to break your barriers. Thank you, and Allah Hafiz.